Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRNradio.
Are you ready to reach for the stars? Tune in to The Lost Wanderer, the #1 monthly podcast on good pods in astronomy. Join our host, Jeff, as he takes you on an interstellar adventure to explore the mysteries of space and the wonders of science. From rocket launches and distant galaxies to the latest discoveries in astronomy, each episode is a thrilling ride through the cosmos. Don't just gaze at the stars. Come explore the universe with us. Follow The Lost Wanderer wherever you get your podcasts, and let's discover the stars together.
My dad was really, really special, and I loved my dad a lot.
I'm proud of him, and that even though he isn't here with us, but he died as a true hero.
I miss everything about him.
In the moment that the officers and I had to come see the children, my biggest reaction was, I don't have 7 arms. I have 7 children who just lost their father, and I don't have 7 arms to wrap around them.
I'm Frank Silla, chairman of the Stephen Silla Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Our foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes for Gold Star families and fallen first responder families.
To not have to worry financially is a huge peace of mind. The thought of, what in the world will I possibly do to pay the bills? How will I possibly let the children have a life that feels normal? I don't want them to have to quit their piano lessons or their basketball. I don't want them to feel that we have to move into a little apartment and struggle financially in addition to the emotional weight.
There are over 1,000 families that need our help. Tunnel to Towers is honoring those heroes that risked their lives by providing them with mortgage-free homes.
Those who serve us and then lay down their lives protecting our freedoms and our safety, the least we can do is $11 a month to give them that peace of always knowing there's a home, there's that sanctuary when life feels like it's been tipped upside down, because it has, when you lose a parent in the line of duty, to know you can go home, you can be safe, there's no risk of losing your home. That's a peace of mind that I can't believe you can get for $11 a month.
I'd like to ask you to contribute $11 a month to support their efforts.
Please donate $11 a month by calling 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Celebrity designer Jeff Lewis is back with Hollywood House Lift.
I'm excited to be working with new clients.
I'm not getting rid of that.
I hope I never see you both again.
Yeah. An all-new season.
Those have to go. That has to go.
From, oh, wow,
It's been an actual nightmare.
to, oh, wow.
This is such an upgrade.
With celebrities like Josh Duhamel, Christina Ricci, and Gina Rodriguez.
Dazzle me, Jeff.
It looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Stream an all-new season of Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis, now streaming on Freevee.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the number one way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Well, just like that, it's Monday again, and I'm back with you live right here on America Off the Rails. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow through Friday doing the Rick Robinson Show, noon to 3 Eastern time. Likely to be changing in the summer months, but I just found out summer doesn't come as early as it used to for the kids around here. So it's weird because when I was going to school, we used to get out right around my birthday, and then for the longest time, my kids would get out like first week in May, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And now I guess now that Gracie's going back to school, they now get out basically right before my birthday again. So yes, starting probably in June, the schedule may change for my daily show, but we'll figure that out later. For now, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I hope you guys have been enjoying programming tonight. We had the Ladies of the Red Wine back. We just finished Spirited Books with the lovely Aggie Rican and the alien guy who's hanging out in my chat right now. Good evening to you as well, Mr. Jeff. Hope you guys had a good show. I tried to listen to a little bit of it, but I've also been dealing with a lot of stuff. So, plus making sure we had programming on behind me and all that fun stuff. But anyway, so, the funny thing is, and this has been a part of my intro for almost as long as I've done the show. It's a friend of mine that used to work for KTOK doing it. And he says, now it's time to talk about America's biggest problems. You know what I think America's biggest problems might be right now? Two things. Crazy ass scientists with nothing better to do and panicans because we're surrounded by them. So first thing I want to talk about, I don't know how much time we're going to be spending on it today, but I have to talk about this. I really do. And I want to thank everybody who's coming there, and I see the numbers slowly going up wherever you are seeing us at, whether it is on our X feeds, whether it is on Rumble, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook. Make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing, whatever all those options are. Just go ahead and get them all out of the way now. It costs you absolutely nothing. But like I said, the interesting thing about today is, normally Monday is kind of a half day off for me. Sunday is usually the day I try to take most of the day off. And then Monday kind of is a half day because it's usually my errand running day and all the things that I can't get to because I work all the rest of the time. So I'm like scrolling through the news feeds today while I'm waiting on my granddaughter to get out of school. First thing I read is that, oh, look, the scientists have decided that they have brought back an apex predator and yet have not brought back the very things that it used to feed upon. This just seems like a really bad idea. So we're going to be getting into this a little bit. Like I said, I don't know how much or how long we're going to be talking about it, but I don't know. I I'm just saying this is we've seen these movies. Why do we keep doing these things? So you guys have seen you've read, I'm probably sure, the best-selling books by now, the hit movie and the franchise that spanned from it. Most of which was kind of meh compared to the first one, but they're still going, so that says something. But so the problem is, this is the exact premise of that movie. As a matter of fact, the company that has already resurrected the dire wolf is also trying to resurrect the woolly mammoth. So yeah, so the entire premise of that movie, in case you've been living under a rock, is that we could bring back dinosaurs. So it wasn't possible at the time. Readers and viewers knew that it would likely be achievable in the not too distant future due to scientific advances and breakthroughs in our study of DNA. One company has said that that day has now arrived and that they've brought back to life a species that has been gone from the planet for thousands of years. The dire wolf, the larger version of today's wolves that were made popular in the Game of Thrones universe. When you read the fine print, you see that the company, Colossal Bioscience, didn't actually bring back a 100% authentic direwolf, but it's pretty damn close. In 2021, a separate team of scientists managed to retrieve DNA from the fossils of dire wolves, which went extinct about 13,000 years ago. With the discovery of additional DNA, the colossal researchers have now edited 20 genes of gray wolves to imbue the animals with key features of their predecessors, dire wolves. They then created embryos from the edited gray wolf cells, implanted them in surrogate dog mothers, and waited for them to give birth. The result is 3 healthy wolves, 2 males that are 6 months old and 1 female that is 2 months old, named Romulus, Remus, and Caelus, or Calesi. Anyway, that they have a lot of traits of dire wolves. So just for fun, we're going to put this up on the screen. Hang on. It'll take me a second. So they look cute, right? Look pretty awesome. Except there are things that would eat your and my face off if given the opportunity. And we brought them back from the brink of extinction. Now, I understand it's not technically bringing them back from extinction. This is that CRISPR technology again that I didn't realize was mainstream enough that it's now become a pop culture thing and is being used in TV. But this is the exact kind of stuff we're talking about. This is like designer gene editing. This is bad. This is just bad. Why? So the company, of course, celebrated their achievement all over social media, writing the following. This moment marks not only a milestone for us as a company, but also a leap forward for science, conservation, and humanity. From the beginning, our goal has been clear: to revolutionize history and to be the first company to use CRISPR technology successfully in the de-extinction of a previously lost species. By achieving this, we continue to push forward our broader mission on accepting humanity's duty to restore Earth to a healthier state. They had to weave in the climate bullshit, huh? The obvious question becomes, how far should humans take this? Next question's kind of on the nose. Are we playing God with this kind of... You have to ask that question? You really have... Are we playing God? Well, no. Of course we're playing God, you morons. I mean, come on. I mean, that is just I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to be a dick tonight, I promise, but that is just an asinine question. Because of course they're playing God. Why would you expect them to do anything different? Human beings are retarded. The only thing that we ever do whenever possible is push the envelope as far as we can and pray that we don't break it. And then half the time, when we break it, it's not our fault. We didn't mean for this to happen. Doesn't matter that it did happen. Doesn't matter that it did happen on your watch. Doesn't matter that you've just basically used CRISPR to recreate a very dangerous predator. But yeah, I mean, I guess somebody thought this was a good idea. I don't know who, because apparently they don't watch the same movies that you and I watch, because I've seen these movies over and over and over again, and they never end well. They never do. And the scariest thing about all this, if you pay attention to what's going on, we are in the infancy stages of every bad sci-fi idea coming to life and hitting us at the very same time. Welcome into the show, and great to see you. Chat's been kind of quiet tonight, but I promise I am seeing you guys. We've got a lot of folks starting to stream in, so hopefully there'll be some more active talkers in a minute. But we shall see. It doesn't really matter. I'm just glad everybody's listening. But yeah, I just felt like I really needed to open the show with this, because this is a bad idea, and we've seen these movies. And what scares me is, with AI exploding onto this scene, now robotics is taking off. We've got company after company now releasing videos of humanoid-looking robots moving more and more like humans and being able to do the same task as humans. And now we've got the gene splicing thing going on. And this goes back to, and I talked about this a little bit last week, and I think I even mentioned it on Aggie's show, or the show that Aggie and I do together. I keep saying Aggie's show because I was only brought in as a fill-in, and then Mickey said, "Yeah, it was fun, guys, but I'm gonna go learn to fly planes and shit now." I only give him shit about it because I'm jealous, because I've always wanted to learn to fly planes. But anyway, so this is just a bad idea. And like I said, the scariest thing about this, and this is kind of why this reinforces everything that I've talked about on juxtaposition recently, and the few times we've talked about whether we live in a matrix or whether this is some form of a simulation. All of this stuff coming to a head all at the same time, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Just proves to me that we are, in fact, living in a simulation, and whoever's running it just does not like us very much. All right, so I needed to talk about that, but we got it out of the way. So we're going to start getting into some of the news of the day. This show will only have one break because it's only an hour long. After me, we do have the SHR Media crew with Edge of Liberty, so hang out for that, and that will conclude our broadcast day for today. But there has been a major win for the Trump administration with SCOTUS. SCOTUS has granted a request to lift the order halting Venezuelan deportations, which is a good thing. In a significant win for the Trump administration, the Supreme Court granted the president's request to lift a stay that had been blocking deportation of Venezuelan nationals. This ruling allows the administration to move forward with its plan to expel individuals from Venezuela who are living in the U.S. illegally despite previous legal challenges. The decision is seen as a victory for enforcing immigration laws and protecting American interests, as the administration continues prioritizing national security and integrity of U.S. borders. So on Monday, Supreme Court justices ruled 5-4, not really that surprised, to grant the Trump administration's request to lift the stay. And a temporary victory for Trump and his allies. President Donald Trump previously requested the higher court to vacate the lower court's ruling, barring the administration from using a 1798 wartime immigration law, the Alien Enemies Act, to immediately deport Venezuelan nationals, including members of Tren de Aragua, or TDR, TDA, whatever you want to call them, from the U.S. Before anybody yells at me for saying TDR, half these people call it Tren de Agua, so I don't really care. Just saying. But look, this is a huge deal, and it honestly kind of surprises me a little bit, because I don't really trust Roberts any further than I can throw him anymore. Dude is a squish, and he's kind of all over the place. And if he would be consistent, it would make life so much easier. But he's not consistent. He sees himself as consistent because he's trying to be some form of originalist. But if he was an originalist, he wouldn't have upheld the ACA, because everything about the ACA flies in the face of the original intent of our Constitution. So I laugh well, you don't understand. Rick Roberts is an originalist. An original what? An original pain in the ass? Because that's kind of what it seems like from here. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy that gets paid to talk. But yeah, so this was kind of a big deal. Now I didn't see this one yet, so we're gonna kind of do a live react to this one. This is from Bonchi over at Red State. Apparently, according to him, this Tim Walz thing is starting to get weird. So after suffering one of the most embarrassing defeats during a presidential election in history, Tim Walz has decided the best strategy is to pretend like it never happened. Instead of taking a break from national politics and serving his constituents as governor of Minnesota, his actual job, Walz has decided to cosplay as the Democratic Party's new hope. Oh my God. Help us, faggy one can blow me. You're our only hope. Sorry, that was rude. He's been holding events in various swing states, awkwardly gyrating and strutting for adoring crowds of what appear to be mostly retirees, proclaiming himself as a fighter who can stand up to President Donald Trump. To hear him tell it, the energy is palpable. He's building a movement, in his own mind at least. And just so we can share a little bit of the pain. Hang on, let me get. Oh. All right, and here we go. Oh my Lord, he filled up an entire theater. The shock, the amazement that people actually showed up. We got an Amish sighting. Hey, Amish, how are you, man? All right, but yeah, so this, like I said, this whole Tim Walz thing, yeah, getting a little weird. It's just getting a little weird. So this is from Interactive Polls. Who would you say is the current leader of the Democratic Party now? And this is according to Dems. Harris with 19%. Mr. Barack Obama with 17%. Booker with 14%. AOC 8%. Sanders 8%. Jeffries 8%. Schumer 6%. Newsom 4%, which is kind of funny because technically Schumer should be the leader of the party right now. Minority leader in the Senate. Just saying. Newsom 4%, Biden 4%, Hillary Clinton 3%, Walz 3%, Booty Grease 3%, and Crockett 3%. Among ages 18 to 34, Harris is sitting at 27%, and Obama's at 19%. So all of a sudden, they seem to like Harris in the 18 to 34 bracket. Don't know where that energy was a few months ago, but I'm glad it wasn't there. Now, of course, if you're listening to the Democrats right now, everything for them is coming up roses because the economy is supposedly tanking because the stock market is tanking. The problem is the economic numbers don't support the fact that they want to tell you that the economy is failing. Everything about the economy is actually starting to fire on the right cylinders. Inflation has come down dramatically. Interest rates have been cut. Wages are actually still increasing. The jobs that are being created that are showing up in these two most recent jobs reports, those are not tied to government sector, which means those are jobs that are not only making the people that are working them money, but they're making the economy money. They're not siphoning money from the economy just to move it over into another bucket and say, oh, look, see, we're stable. But this is the problem. And this is something that has been happening in this country for a long time. And I've been trying to warn people about it while I started trying to learn how to understand it, because a lot of presidents, including this one, have looked at the stock market and made it the indicator of everything. I mean, I would like to point out that not too long ago, when the stock market started trying to tank, or everybody thought it was going to, when Trump was running for office, he started making noise about if any president is in power during a crash this large for two consecutive days or more, they should start talking about impeachment. This is why these kind of things are bad to say. It was red meat for the base at the time, but it also presupposed that he was never going to do anything that was going to wind up maybe pissing off the people of Wall Street. And if you want to know what's really going on in the markets right now, that is it in a nutshell. This isn't a bunch of people inside their 401ks telling people to pull out of certain companies or anything else, or saying, hey, I'm going to mix up how I do things. I mean, it may be happening a little bit now that has been a consistent few days that it's been headed into bear territory. But This is the rich people pulling all their money out to do everything they can to try to steer the country back towards giving more of a shit about them than the working class. The funny thing is, and I know I say this a lot, but it's something that's really been driven home to me, is for years when I first started doing this, I kept being told that the Republicans were the parties of racists. The Republicans were the party of the rich people. They didn't give a crap about everyday Americans. And I got that shoved in my face every time I turned around. And anytime I tried to point out, well, the Democrats were the party of slavery, the Democrats were the party of secession, the Democrats did this, the Democrats did that. Show me any evidence where it's changed. All they would ever say is, well, you see, after they passed the Civil Rights Act, the parties kind of switched, Rick, and you're just too stupid to know it. The problem is the parties haven't switched. They're still exactly the same. The Democrats still hate you the moment you say you're not wanting to align with them 100% of the time anymore. You know why they were losing so many people? Because the Overton window moved. It wasn't that people's philosophies were changing. It was that party's philosophy left them so far behind that they didn't feel like they fit in there anymore. And then when they realized that a lot of us that they thought were far right are really just wanting to be left the hell alone and have the government out of as much of our business as possible, they were like, hey, I can kind of get on board with some of this. And then you see the left going, what the hell's the matter with you? Why are you over there with the Nazis? What happened to you? You used to be one of us. Now we hate you and we're going to destroy you. You know what a conservative does when we don't like somebody's policies? We vote them out of office. Or we try to. You know what a leftist does when they don't like your policies? They come after you. They come after your family. They come after your job if they can get it. They come after everything. Because it's not just enough to disagree with you because they disagree with you. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on pause while you're getting a refill, Jeff. Sure, just kidding. Oh, and sorry, I live out in the country, and there's some things going on around my house tonight. I think the wolves are migrating, so my dogs are kind of freaking out a little bit. You may or may not hear that from time to time, but there's not much I can do about it because I live in the middle of nowhere. And we do have some wolves and coyotes around here. So anyway, but yeah, no, it's just funny because, and we're seeing this right now with everything that's going on with Tesla and with Elon Musk. You've got folks like Tim Walz, who I was just discussing, cheering the fact that Tesla stock has been plummeting, even though that's one of the government of Michigan's biggest investments in their retirement programs. That's where they put a lot of their money because all the lefties like the electric cars. Now, I will say it's interesting now that people are trying to torch them. Suddenly, the right seems to be digging Teslas. I got to admit, I've always kind of wanted one. I don't want to use it as my primary vehicle. Don't get me wrong. I would still have something that has that has good old internal combustion engine. But I would love to have a Tesla for a couple different reasons. One, when I used to work 22 hours a day, it sucked trying to get home at night. Because there were times I would put the key in the ignition of my little red F-150 truck, and I wouldn't realize how I got home. I would just be grateful that I got there. See, that's the other thing. The get up and go of the electric cars is one of the reasons I used to actually work security for a car lot, so I actually got to play around in some. It wasn't ever Teslas, but like the hybrids from like Toyota and stuff. I used to get to play with those a lot. And those were cool because in electric mode, those things can zip. But yeah. See the Cybertruck, I think it would be fun to drive, but I don't really dig driving around in something that looks like it was rendered on an Atari 2600. I know what they were trying to do with it. They were trying to make it look all like futuristic and stuff, but it literally looks like, it reminds me of the Tron vehicles, but not even as cool looking as those. So yeah, not a fan of the aesthetics, but I still probably would at least try to drive one. Just to be able to say, oh, dude, it really does put you in the back of the chair. All right, so let's see what else we've got going on around the news feeds. Actually, let's take a break first. I just realized we're up against one of those anyway. So we might as well get that out of the way. So I'm actually following my own rules because, I yell at people for not following the rules and then I don't follow them. So, all right, we're going to take the break. We'll be back. One more segment on the other side. Make sure you guys are sharing out the feed, please, if you are so inclined. If you haven't done so yet, you can follow along with me at RowdyRick73. You can follow along with the station at KLRM Radio. And please like, share, subscribe, all the fun things. We'll be right back.
Together through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm, letting you know that you're not alone, not afraid. I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors. We're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
Celebrity designer Jeff Lewis is back with Hollywood House Lift.
I'm excited to be working with new clients.
I'm not getting rid of that.
I hope I never see you both again.
An all-new season.
Those have to go. That has to go.
From oh, wow,
It's been an actual nightmare.
to oh, wow.
This is such an upgrade.
With celebrities like Josh Duhamel, Christina Ricci, and Gina Rodriguez. Dazzle me, Jeff.
It looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Stream an all-new season of Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis, now streaming on Freevee.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. You know you do air guitar to this part too. And if you don't, you're not doing life right. So you should be. Anyway, welcome back into the program, ladies and gentlemen. America Off the Rails coming at you live. Don't forget, we've got SHR Media, Sean Lewis with the Edge of Liberty coming up just after me. And that'll be our closing act for the evening. All right, let's see what other troubles we can get into, shall we? So, I guess Bill Maher speaking out about his little get-together with Donald Trump. So on April 1st, this was brought by Becky Noble. So on April 1st, she brought the story of a dinner we would have all loved to have been a fly on the wall for. Musician Kid Rock, one of President Donald Trump's biggest supporters, brokered a dinner at the White House between himself, UFC CEO Dana White, Trump, and liberal kleptocrat Bill Maher. One of Trump's harshest critics. A few days later, Kid Rock appeared on the Fox News channel several times to give some of the dinner details. He said that it could not have gone better. Now we're finally hearing Bill Maher's initial thoughts on the evening. So this is from David Jomay. During Bill Maher's recent trip to the White House to meet with Trump, he presented the president with a list of insults that Trump had made about him over the years. In typical Trump fashion, the president took the list and autographed it. Okay, that's actually a boss-ass move. It really kind of is. So, on Sunday on his Club Random podcast, Mayer spoke with News Nation journalist Chris Cuomo. Please never use the words journalist and Chris Cuomo in the same sentence. And spoke about his dinner with Trump. He initially spoke about Trump's authenticity, saying Trump really is one of the most effective politicians. Whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that you should always learn to be more like who you are. Mayer appeared to observe at least a bit of what Trump supporters have known all along, that Trump, because he has not spent his entire life in government and is not a politician by trade, is not afraid to go outside the box and say and do things that other politicians would never think of doing. He also said that even though Democrats hate Trump, they need to find someone who has Trump's authenticity and fearlessness, he added. You know, he has those moments that no other politician has, and the Democrats have to find that guy, Mayer admitted. But let's be real. They've been searching for years, and they're still coming up empty. He was one of theirs. This is what I like. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here because I think I've read enough to give you guys the gist of it. But what drives me crazy about even the guys like Maher, and they're like, well, we need to find a guy like him. You had him. He was on your side. Elon Musk was on your side. Elon Musk was the real life version for the left of Tony fucking Stark, and they pushed him off the bus. It happened to Donald Trump first. Guys, the thing that nobody seems to want to understand, and I have been saying this for weeks, we have had politician after politician after politician after politician keep doing the same things after they told us they were going to do something differently and just praying that it was going to be different results. And I talked about this on the Friday show. And this is probably unfortunately going to be a topic for a while because everybody's just having a cow right now. The simple fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, our economy was broken under Biden. Broken in worse ways and in more ways than you and I are ever going to possibly be able to understand because everybody is willing to put the bodies under the carpet for the Democrats. And if there's even a hangnail under a Republican, everybody gets to see all of it, no matter what it is. And look, all I want is consistency from everybody. But the simple fact of the matter is, this is a coin flip. We don't know how many of this is going to go. But I do know, and Donald Trump said as much, and a lot of the people in his cabinet have said as much, he could have come in, pushed for his no tax on tips, pushed for his no tax on Social Security, pushed on a couple other little things to give just a little bit of a goose to the economy and then stop killing the chickens. And everybody's portfolio would have been okay. And everybody said, see, look, this is awesome. Prices are getting lower and we can buy more stuff, but our dollar is still fucking worthless. Amish, you make a really good point. So, some of our best Republicans are actually former Democrats. Look at Reagan. I don't really put Trump in the Republican column because he's more of a populist. Musk, I think, is becoming more of a Republican, especially now. I think he might have swung back the other way a little bit if they hadn't come after him so hard. I think they have completely red-pilled Musk at this point. And Tulsi, I think so too. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to agree with them 100% of the time. Hell, if you agree with anybody 100% of the time, one of you is lying to the other, and you need to figure out which one. Because I don't even agree with the chick I'm dating 100% of the time. Anyway. But look, it would have been really simple for them just to come in, tweak a couple things, write things out to the midterms, and then just fade off into the sunset and let Vance take over. But the problem with that is, and if you listen to these people, they've been telling you, this is what we could have done because this is what the last guy did. And this is what the guy before Trump, well, not really. I mean, Obama really was the one that started the catalyst on just completely screwing everything up. But he told everybody he was going to do it, and they voted for him anyway. But the thing about it is, no matter how bad things got under Obama, everybody was fine with it that voted for him. I mean, look at how bad things actually got under Obama. I mean, yes, the stock market, I don't like the fact that everybody's retirement is tied into the stock market now. That is basically that's corporate welfare in my opinion. Just like I firmly believe that if we took junk food off a SNAP, their prices would plummet. Because most of the people that buy that stuff are using food stamps to do it. Once you get past a certain income level, you don't buy stuff like that anymore because you know what it does to you. But when you're poor, you buy whatever the hell you can afford. I mean, hell, I remember when I was in college, I ate ramen noodles like 5 fucking days a week because it was all I could afford. Wait, what's going to get filtered? I'm confused. Anyway, I think Amish was trying to type something. I was like, yeah, that's not going to make it. I'm assuming because the X chat's a little finicky. But yeah, so Bill Maher, of course, did actually meet with Trump. I'm honestly kind of surprised that he did it. And no, I'm not saying Bill Maher is getting red pilled. Bill Maher is somebody who, depending on what room he's in, will say whatever he needs to get applause. That's Bill Maher. It's been Bill Maher for a long time. It's one of the reasons why I really don't like the fact that my side likes to prop him up a lot and be like, look, they've even lost Bill Maher. Bill Maher is telling you what you want to hear to give him clicks, bro. And what I hate about that is how well that works. Like, we don't do that stuff around here. KLR Radio, we don't do that. We try to make entertaining content, but we also try to bring you information at the same time, and we don't try to do the whole, the whole shock and awe kind of thing and be like, oh my God, did you see this? And then turns out it's not true. I hate that people do that. Or I hate that they'll tell you whatever you want to hear depending on what room they're in. I don't like that. I never have. So I think this kind of sums it up. This is from Terry Christoph. And again, just remember, you guys woke us up. So there are tariff tantrums. And while boomers rage and millennials panic, Gen X knows we've got a country to save. I'm not sure if any of you caught the goofy hands-off rage fest that took place this past weekend. I have to admit, I took most of the weekend off of political stuff, so I did not really pay that much attention to it. But the writer of this article did take a gander to see what the left was fussing about this time, other than their tiresome Orange Man bad refrain. Sure enough, it was in fact more of the same, with a dash of Doge and a twist of Musk derangement syndrome. They really should call that an Elon derangement syndrome and then just call it Elon derangement, then shorten it to ED. Just saying. What struck, though, was how very boomery the crowd looked. So I'm going to put this picture on the screen because, it's fear porn for the boomers. That's what we're dealing with right now. It's fear porn for the boomers. Okay, so sorry, I didn't realize I already had it on the tab. So, but yeah, there's the picture he's talking about. I'm gonna probably do this for now because I'm probably gonna stay on this for a minute. But yeah, so there's the picture. You can see all the little, not so happy boomer folks. So the MAGA morons are governing America. Really? Then what happened? But anyway, so like many Gen Xers, and especially those of us who were born right on the heels of the boomers, I've always held a healthy amount of disdain for the group that came before us. As a group, they come off as incredibly self-righteous and smug. Not only that, but completely unself-aware. And despite having enjoyed the best years of America, they're still mad and are now complaining about those of us who have to clean up their messes. Then, after logging on to X to see the latest discourse around tariffs, I see this. Oh, this is from, and I saw this earlier today too. This is from Ryan Saveda, a good friend of mine who is a conservative right-wing Republican. Just sent me this. Before we go any further, I will take things that have never actually happened for 2,000, Miss Bialik. Just saying. So you start messing around with people's investments in 401ks and you're going to lose support fast. So, yeah, and then you can see the text. Dude, no shit. I'm voting Democrat. Legit thought I'd never say that. Newsom for sure. Any Dem in Congress. Just insane this is happening. Can I take a screenshot of that and post it? I won't include your name or anything. Sure, even if Trump reverses course Monday, it's too late. Can't trust him again. Hauls out some random chart with made up numbers and triggers worst 3-day crash since the 1980s. Done. Okay. So I don't even have to know the person involved to know that they are a millennial. This sentiment oozes. I like my fat 401k and cheap consumer goods, and I'll give up all of my freedoms to have them. Hey, we all like those things, but you're kidding yourself if you think there's not a steep price to pay. Did the new math make an entire generation financially retarded? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that yes, in fact, the new math has made an entire generation retarded. They don't do math anymore. Have you not figured that out? Like only 37% of 8th graders are proficient in math and reading. That's insane to me. But so yes, it pretty much proves the fact that they can't do math. And look, I get it. I have money in the market. Not a lot, but I have, well, I mean, to me, it's a lot. It's almost a year's salary just sitting there. And I've built it up over time. So yeah, when I see the days when things are down by 1,000 points, and I see days when there's a 1,000-point drop, a 2,000-point upswing, and then we eventually wind up just a little under 400 points down. Trust me, my heart goes up into my throat too. It looks like Shaggy's now non-existent Adam's apple. Anyway, some of you got that joke. It's a juxtaposition thing. But yeah, no, I can't with this. Dude, we had so many things wrong all at once. We didn't know about any of them. I mean, I suspected a lot of them. I suspected that there were CIA front groups funneling a lot of money all over the place. I know that half of these, supposed we're going to help people in other countries BS is just ways to funnel money right back into Democrat causes and Democratic candidates. And I know that. And I've known that up here and in here, but I hadn't had it pointed out to me until we had Elon Musk and a bunch of 20-somethings combing through our government going, hey, did you guys see this? Hey, did you guys see this? Did you guys see this? And of course, the left, the same people that want 4-year-olds to be able to choose their gender and 5-year-olds to be able to vote. 20-year-olds should not have access to that kind of information. Are you for real right now? Did you really just say that out loud? You want a 4-year-old to be able to pick their gender. But 20-year-olds, actual legal adults, they can't see pertinent government information. The same kind of stuff that you and I should be able to see on the regular, since technically we are the government. Nobody really wants to talk about that part. And every time I bring it up, they're just like, not really, because that's why we elect them. We elect them so we can live our lives, but we elect them to do the things that we tell them that we want them to do. It's why we elect them in the first place. Donald Trump is doing those things. People aren't happy about them because a lot of people that have been getting fat off of the government being fed while you and I have starved are having the spigots turned off. A lot of people that have been able to basically graft onto things like USAID and USIP are pissed because all of their money's drying up. Act Blue is in serious trouble. That's why I was surprised to see all the AstroTurf happening over the weekend. I guess they've spun something else up that has already taken the place of Act Blue, or I guess they have other things that they're able to use in contingencies. But it terrifies me that this thing is, Orty's about to laugh at me. But this whole thing is basically like a hydra. Because it's like we chop one head off and three come back. Every time. But anyway. Man, dude, I forgot how fast an hour goes by when you're used to doing at least 2 or 3. Holy crap, we only got like 10 minutes left, and I still have barely scratched the surface on anything I wanted to talk about tonight. I guess it's a good thing I get to do this again tomorrow. Oh, all right. So let's hit one other bit of notes here. Hang on, my computer's being silly. Oh yeah, hang on. Actually, hang on. Before we close things out, I forgot I do have a couple things over here that I wanted to go over with you guys. So, in case you missed the memo, Jasmine Slavey Crockett is back in the news. I've got a new clip of her we're going to go over, so hang on.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
So I had to go around the...
All right, so the irony that Slavey Crockett can't seem to understand that she is advocating for a permanent underclass when she says things like this astounds me. Because we too good for them jobs now, boss. You bring in the next crowd to do that stuff. It's basically what she just said. I'm sorry. If you are of sound mind and body and able to work, you should never consider yourself too good for any damn job. I have done everything from scrub toilets to flip burgers. I have run 2 separate companies. I run one now. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I've worked for the state. I've worked for airlines. I spent a good part of my 20s and 30s wearing a badge and a gun in various forms before I started doing all the other stuff that I just talked to you about. If you count this part of my life, this is my 5th career change. But the idea that anybody in this country should feel like they are too good for any job, you know what? That's why Donald Trump resonated so well with the American people when he walked into a McDonald's and said, "Show me how to do the fries." Doesn't matter that he was only there for a day. Doesn't matter that it was just a publicity stunt. It was the fact that you saw a billionaire walking into a McDonald's and saying, "Show me how you do your job." That's why Donald Trump resonates with America. That's why you've got auto workers that are cheering right now because factories are being shuttered in Canada and Mexico and being spun up here. It's the same thing that happened the first time until his own party got in his way. And I understand. I've even got people that work with me here at K-Larn Radio that are completely just done because of the tariffs. Look, I've never told anybody that they're not allowed to have an opinion that I disagree with. And I will have a ration. I'll try to have a discussion with anybody. I really will. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know how any of this is going to go. And all of these economic experts, you have to realize they've spent the last 30 years learning about Keynesian economics, which are fucking broken in the first place. So the fact that they're trying to convince you that they know more than you do about all of this stuff is just insane. It is literally insane because these people only understand the economic systems that are taught to them in these accredited schools. And that's not even what we're doing right now. We're going back to like the 1800s economy. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's just dumb. How do you know? Look, I don't know how a lot of this is going to end. I do know that Walmart has stood up to China and said, hey, you want to put a bunch of tariffs on the stuff that we're said that, yeah, no, we're not paying those. We're not passing those on to our consumer either. So you're either going to get rid of your tariffs or we're going to find our stuff elsewhere. If every corporation in America that had the stones and the ability to do that would do that, all of this stuff would go away. And it wouldn't impact the mom and pop shops anymore either, because everybody's just be like, yeah, we need you guys. That's the thing. And I've been saying this for about the last week too. Our economy might be pretty close to being a paper tiger or a house of cards. The difference is our stuff's at least on card stock, so it's still standing up right now. The fact that we're chipping away at our debt, the fact that we're actually tackling all of these things and trying to tackle them all at once is kind of a huge deal. And I don't feel like anybody's given him enough credit for everything that he's trying to do, because at least he's trying to do something. And he's trying to do exactly what he told you he was going to do. He was going to streamline the government, put more of the money back where it belonged, and get the dollar stronger again so that it wouldn't matter if we had inflation as badly, because we could still have more purchasing power. I mean, I don't think you... I'm gonna pull this up for tomorrow's show because I don't have enough time today. So if you're interested, come back tomorrow starting at noon, because we'll be getting into this a little bit further. But I don't think you guys realize how devalued our dollar actually is until you just look at it all at once, because it's insane. How much your money doesn't matter anymore because of the things that they have done to your money to make it not matter as much anymore, to try to put everything on a more even keel for the rest of the world, instead of putting us first. Why is it that people that are supposed to be working for me and you are more worried about places like Kenya? I never have understood that. And I don't think you guys have either, or you probably wouldn't be here watching this. But on that note, folks, believe it or not, we are officially out of time. Gonna have to do the handoff a little bit early because my good friend Sean over at SHR tries to start about a minute or so early, and I want to make sure that we don't miss it. But it'll take me a second to get everything all queued up and squared away anyway. And sorry, my phone locked because I haven't been on it enough, getting the outro queued up. But since we are going over to SHR, the Edge of Liberty show, and he is from Boston, I figured this was more than appropriate. I will be back with you guys next week, same time, maybe a little bit earlier because there's not as much on in front of me. And then back with you tomorrow. Don't forget, hang out for SHR's The Edge of Liberty next. And don't forget also tomorrow night, Cocktail Lounge and Manorama, live right here on KLRNradio.com. My name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager here, KLRNradio.com. Don't forget to give a shout out to our programming director. You know him as an alien bastard. Just kidding, Jeff. Love you, man. And he actually just finished a show right before me. So hang tight, guys, and hang out for Sean. Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRN Radio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at klrnradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN Radio.
Are you ready to reach for the stars? Tune in to The Lost Wanderer, the #1 monthly podcast on good pods in astronomy. Join our host, Jeff, as he takes you on an interstellar adventure to explore the mysteries of space and the wonders of science. From rocket launches and distant galaxies to the latest discoveries in astronomy, each episode is a thrilling ride through the cosmos. Don't just gaze at the stars, come explore the universe with us. Follow The Lost Wanderer wherever you get your podcasts, and let's discover the stars together.
My dad was really, really special, and I loved my dad a lot.
I'm proud of him, and that even though he isn't here with us, but he died as a true hero.
I miss everything about him.
In the moment that the officers and I had to come see the children, my biggest reaction was, I don't have 7 arms. I have 7 children who just lost their father, and I don't have 7 arms to wrap around them.
I'm Frank Silla, chairman of the Stephen Silla Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Our foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes for Gold Star families and fallen first responder families.
To not have to worry financially is a huge peace of mind. The thought of, what in the world will I possibly do to pay the bills? How will I possibly let the children have a life that feels normal? I don't want them to have to quit their piano lessons or their basketball. I don't want them to feel that we have to move into a little apartment and struggle financially in addition to the emotional weight.
There are over 1,000 families that need our help. Tunnel to Towers is honoring those heroes that risk their lives by providing them with mortgage-free homes.
Those who serve us and then lay down their lives protecting our freedoms and our safety, the least we can do is $11 a month to give them that peace of always knowing there's a home, there's that sanctuary when life feels like it's been tipped upside down, because it has. When you lose a parent in the line of duty, to know you can go home, you can be safe, there's no risk of losing your home. That's a peace of mind that I can't believe you can get for $11 a month.
I'd like to ask you to contribute $11 a month to support their efforts.
Please donate $11 a month by calling 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
All right. It should be kicking off pretty much any time now, so just hang out. All right, I'm going to give it to the end of this song, and if he hasn't kicked off, we're going to go ahead and shut down. I don't know what's going on. He's usually already up and running, but I don't want to shut it down early, just in case.
The pictures tell the story. This life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning, and before I'd start each day, I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, and then be on my way. I traveled far and wide, laid this head in many ports. I was guided by a compass, I saw beauty to the north. I drew the tales of many lives and wore the faces of my own. I had these memories all around me so I wouldn't be alone. Some may be from showing up, others are from growing up. Sometimes I was so messed up and didn't have a clue. I ain't winning no one over. I wear it just for you. I got your name written here and a rose tattoo. And a rose tattoo. And a rose tattoo. I got your name written here and a rose tattoo. This one's for the mighty sea, mischief, golden piracy. This one's for the man that raised me, taught me sacrifice and bravery. This one's for our favorite game, black and gold, we wave the flag. This one's for my family name, with pride I'll wear it to the grave. Some may be from showing up, others are from growing up. Sometimes I was so messed up and didn't have a clue. I ain't winning no one over, I'll wear it just for you. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo. This one means the most to me. It stays up for eternity. A ship that always stays the course, an anchor for my every choice. A rose that shines down from above. A sign who sealed these words in blood. I heard it once sung in a song. It played again and we sang along. You'll always be here with me, even if you're gone. You'll always have my love. Our memory will live on. Some may be from showing up, others are from growing up. Sometimes I was so messed up and didn't have a clue. I ain't winning no.
All right, so I got creative and just moved over to his X feed. I don't know why I wasn't showing up on YouTube.